All right, guys, here we go. Week 7 is done and in the books. Let's start with our first game. The A1 A-Holes with a 134-83 victory over Lynch Mob. He goes to 5-2 on the season. Jamar Chase with a monster first half. I mean, he could have broke all-time records if he didn't get injured. 35 points total. Davis Mills, 30 points in a great game for him against the Raiders. Lynch Mob in the losing effort does get 27 from Juju. And Aaron Rodgers, not too bad, 22 points for fantasy on the Packer loss, but still, he just came up short. He didn't break 100 points. When you play a top team like A1 A-Holes, you're going to have to at least come up with 100 points, as his team broke 134. Nice victory for him. We'll see where he finishes on the top 8 rankings coming up soon after some of these other highlights. Let's get to the next game, which is JT 2603 with a 116-73 victory over Dixie Yanks. Dixie Yanks, we saw him make a big trade a week ago, so it looks like he's setting up for the future wisely as we go through here. Daniel Jones, a very pleasant surprise, not just for real football, but for fantasy. He had over 100 yards rushing that day, 300 total on the day, 2 touchdowns. He had 37 points. Barkley with 19 points, 100 yards, just looking outstanding in that game against Jacksonville. Kenneth Walker, 30 points with that huge 75-yard touchdown to really ice it and give him a big performance on the day. Christian Kirk, not bad, 7 catches, 4 yards away from a 5-point bonus, which would have been nice, but still, either way, Dixie Yanks would have came up short. Good, solid. He's got a great piece with Kenneth Walker. I'm glad he has him. All right, our next game, Bishop Sycamore, 4-3. Big victory for him. Tom Brady, 22 points. Could have been an even bigger day had Mike Evans and other Bucs receivers not dropped the ball. 22 points. Mike Williams, disappointing the fact that he's injured. You know, that's not good for him. 7 catches, 86 yards, 21 points for Bishop Sycamore. Into the pits. Good performance. 113 points. Not a bad game at all. Joe Burrow, 55 points. If you watch fantasy footballers, you know the song that follows anytime you hear 55. George Pickens, 18 points. Very solid Sunday night performance. Burrow almost was able to carry him to the victory, but just not enough. If you look at the rest of his roster, not enough guys were able to help him get over the hump on a very big week for him against a top team. Our next game, the Michigan Wolverines, goes to 3-4. This was a big, both teams going commando, our defending champ, both of them needed to get a victory here to try to salvage their season. He goes up 117-70 in the game. Justin Herbert, 29 points, 2 touchdowns, big performance. DJ Moore, welcome back to fantasy relevancy, 19 points. Heineke, 22 points against the Packers, and Nick Chubb, not a bad game, 9 points away from a 5-point bonus, which would have made it an even better day, but he did finish with 18. Going Commander dropped to 2-5, while the Wolverines, like I said, goes to 3-4. He's only a couple of games out for the division as we get to our last game, 6 games of the season, big division race. This was a huge victory at a conference game. Here we go with the Maryland Maniacs, as they played like maniacs, 150-86 over Cheat Code. Cheat Code's biggest thing is Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. Hurts was out, and Jackson has not played well the last few weeks, as his team does not even break 100 points. Josh Jacobs, monster game. He looks like the real deal. He looks like Daniels knows how to, the Raiders coaching staff knows how to use him. Finally, someone taking advantage of his talent. Jimmy G, 27 points in the loss to Kansas City, but who cares in fantasy? Maryland will take it as he goes to 5-2. The Cheat Code dropped to 4-3. Tyler Boyd, a huge game, 31 points. Jacoby Brissett, only 15. When your second guy is under 16 points, that usually means your opponent beat you or you won because your opponent had a bad day. Here we go to Tennessee Tuckers in a very good game against the St. Louis Rams. Has dropped to 1-6, and he's had some tough performances as he only loses by 12. Tennessee Tuckers, though, needed this. Not too long ago, they were the number 1 ranked team. 35 points for Austin Eckler, 12 catches and 120 total yards, 2 touchdowns. Great game. Kenny Pickett, he threw 3 pickets against the Dolphins that night, but still, fantasy-wise, 23 points, you'll take it. St. Louis Ramblesses drops to 1-6. His team still has so much talent, so it's just disappointing to see him lose so many close games. Justin Fields looked great on that Monday Night Football game, 24 points, 2 touchdowns. Zeke, pedestrian. For him, pedestrian. We'll take it, 17 points if you have Zeke in any fantasy team, but tough loss for him. East of the pond, a big comeback. Big victory for him, 147 over a top-ranked team, 113, the Raiders, 1995. As East of the Pond goes to 4-3, this was a huge win to keep him over 500 and in division contention. Aaron Jones, 28 points for the Packers, 9 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman, what a game, man. I think that might have single-handedly helped him win this. 28 points, 3 touchdowns for the Chiefs against the Niners. For the Raiders, Tua, he put up a solid game. 23 points, not bad at all, 261 and a touchdown. He looked hot to start. He would have liked a little more, and maybe he could have kept his team in contention. George Kittle, 21 points, 6 catches, 2 points away from the 100-yard, 5-point bonus and a touchdown. And our final game, Play Naked, with a big victory over my team. My team played terrible this week, only scoring 78 points. But 100. Let's go to Play Naked. Trevor Lawrence, 29 points, big game for him against the Giants. Even though they lost, he put up a great fantasy, 2 weeks in a row, great fantasy performance. The shocker of the day, PJ Walker, 20 points, 2 touchdowns. They beat the Tampa Bay Bucks for the Panthers. That blew everyone's mind, including myself, but great fantasy numbers for Play Naked. We'll see if he can move up the rankings. He's going to need some more big games from PJ Walker, having only one quarterback on the roster. But my team, Mahomes, did everything he can, 41 points, 400 yards total to try to keep me in the game. Curtis Samuel, like I said, when your next guy has under 16 points, usually means you lost. Here is our top 8 rankings as you go through them. Number 1, JT, 2603. I just couldn't keep him off it because there's so many close factors, but the fact that he has Josh Allen, to me, pushed him up just above the Maryland Maniacs. The Maniacs losing, Jacobs looks legit. You know, I think having Josh Jacobs as your running back really has shown that he can help carry the Maniacs as they are 5-2. My team, I still think, with the depth I have, with Christian McCaffrey on a new team, with James Robinson, I feel I have really good depth, and my team is a top 5 team. Tennessee Tuggers is 4-3, his team still being solid. Bishop Sycamore goes to 4-3. They are still up there. A1 A-holes, they did drop a little because the Hall injury and the Wentz injury just don't help him with his depth, and that pulls him down. Raiders 95. With Matt Ryan not playing so well, he doesn't have too much great with the quarterback, so he kind of takes a dip, but he's still 5-2, and he's still in contention for that division. And finally, East of the Pond, he cracks the top 10 or top 8. I have to. His team is playing really good. He's got a solid starting core, and of all the teams not in the top 8 on here, he is the number 1 scoring team with 874. So congratulations, East of the Pond, you made the list. That is it. I hope you guys enjoy our video. Get your roster set, get your waiver wire, and we'll look forward now for the next 6 weeks, division game time. All right? We'll decide who really is the best of each division. Talk to you guys later. Peace.